one comes over from Chris Reed on YouTube. Says, how multidimensional would Odell Beckham Jr. make us? And is it even realistic for us to sign him? You knew it was coming. Odell's supposed to be coming back, able to return, be healthy this week, late this week or early next week. It's supposed to be very soon. Joshua, let's talk about it. Odell Beckham Jr. Let's talk about how great would he be for the team. Let's talk about that first.
I mean, if we were to make that move, I feel like we'd be getting him at a perfect time. I mean, we'll get him in November 20th, all the way into December, into January. And you get him for like close to 2 months, and we don't need him out there every down. That's the thing about this Ravens offense. They constantly switch out wide receivers because they're running certain plays. We saw that last night. And if defensive coordinators start paying attention, who knows how that can work out. But it is what it is. The only thing is, I saw a tweet by Odell. I'm going to be paraphrasing it, chat, if y'all remember it, y'all may have seen it. LA knew where his heart was. The only thing was they made a deal and he felt like they undervalued him. And, he just couldn't accept that. So that's the thing. If he felt undervalued by LA, if he wanted to make a return to LA, get paid and things of that nature, that's the main factor right now. And, if people try to bring up, but we made the trade for Roquan Smith, if you read the whole trade details, the Chicago Bears paid most of the deal off. So we only lost about $75,000, $80,000 worth of cap space. So, the cap for us is the cap. We always show. Yes, there have been deals that was offers that were made to certain free agents, but obviously they was not the sweetest deals out there that was being made to those free agents because obviously we don't have them. So, do I feel like Odell would be a great surgeon to the offense, especially with Rashad Bateman out, Deshaun Jackson, we saw him, get out there, but still, this was your first game. You were already your hamstring already tight, and it was like, "What, dang, my guy, what's going on?" Hey, you was ready. What's going on? So I mean, if Odell can give us a healthy 2 months and go into the playoffs, I'm down. I'm down.
Yeah, and Odell, the benefit is Odell likes Lamar. I believe he was on the Shop or maybe it was I Am Athlete. It was either the Shop or I Am Athlete. And they were talking about guys that he would love to play with. And he said, he was like, man, playing with Lamar Jackson would be unbelievable. Like that would be one of the guys. And I think that he said this when he was playing in Cleveland. But receivers want to play with Lamar, which is so funny. Like, because the whole ideology is like, oh, I don't want to play with Lamar. Now, maybe players like that are used to like crazy high potency passing offenses, guys like Tyreek Hill, where it's like, oh yeah, I was playing in Kansas City. We're throwing the ball 45 times a game, and I want that, and I want to be the number one somewhere else. Odell was just playing. I mean, his standards are pretty low. He played in Cleveland after playing with the New York Giants, so that's pretty rough. That's a rough two franchises to play for in this century, or I could say in this decade. But then he goes over to the Rams, and the Rams are based on the run, even though they pass the ball very well. Maybe not this year, but when they had Odell, they passed the ball very well. Cooper Kupp, Triple Crown winner. Obviously, Odell played very well. Matthew Stafford had a MVP discussion season. It wasn't like an MVP race, but it was like he was kind of brought up in that sphere. It's like, okay, Odell was just playing in that system, and now he kind of doesn't really want to go back to LA, but that kind of makes sense because he wants a ring, and LA's not looking very good right now. Their offensive line looks terrible. The Ravens have a great offensive line. They have a quarterback that I think Odell would love to play with, and he said that he would love to play with him. And he would definitely be the one. That's not a debate. The question is, would the Ravens be able to utilize him in an effective manner? because part of this question, Chris, is, how multidimensional would OBJ make us? And it's like, I don't know, because Odell Beckham Jr. is, I don't know, kind of similar to Rashad Bateman and what he brings to the table. They're a little bit different. Odell's, got a little bit more of the jump ball. Bateman has a little bit more of like the intermediate route running. But overall, they're relatively similar players in how that maybe they could be used. But Bateman is used horribly by Greg Roman. Greg Roman does not utilize his skill set at all. I don't know if Greg Roman would be able to utilize Odell Beckham Jr.'s skill set. Like, I don't.
He's not a straight speedster. He is.
Yeah.
Odell, in my opinion, is an all around. He's an all around wide receiver. He can give you the intermediate route. He can go deep. He can give you the jump ball, fade, and the end zone. The thing is, I don't think. Let me say that back. In order for us to use Odell Beckham Jr., we would have to use the offense that we was using in the preseason in order to make these wide receivers happy. And the preseason was a more pass happy style of offense.
Yeah. And it's just like, the money, the Ravens could get the money to work. That's not the question that I have. It's just like, I feel like the Ravens could sign him. I feel like the Ravens would sign him, but I don't know how much it would change the offense, because I believe the Ravens are, like, even if they had Bateman, I feel like the way for the Ravens to win is by this heavy ground and pound, obviously pass the ball when you need to, but heavy ground and pound, physical natured football. How much is Odell going to contribute to that? I don't know. I would love him again. I would love for him to come to Baltimore, but I just don't know how well, because we have Greg Roman. And again, I'm going to root for the Ravens. I'm going to root for Greg Roman while he's here. He does great with the run scheme, but the problem is the passing game. So when you're trying to bring in wide receivers to fix the passing game, receivers aren't going to fix the passing game, no matter who you throw out there. Greg Roman would run the exact same offense with Jerry Rice, Calvin Johnson, and Randy Moss out wide. It'd be the same, 5 routes. It would be running the football first. Like that is what he does. That is what he does well. That is what he knows. That is what he likes to do. So I feel like it would just cause drama, because he would get frustrated. Why am I not getting the ball?
Yeah.
He would definitely call. I mean, his dad would definitely be making highlight tapes like, hey, look at the 3 routes my son runs right now. He'd probably request a trade even though he can't even be traded. If we had a different OC, I feel like this would be a great spot for Odell.
He will be used as a decoy. Let's okay. In the Lamar Jackson era, when we look at veteran wide receivers, who have we brought in and who has not been utilized? Des Bryant is the first one. He was literally, just because of the name, he suited up, got in maybe 20% of the times he was activated, and on top of that, he was just more on the sidelines. Deshaun Jackson brought in literally, he was brought in before the Thursday night game. Correct me if I'm wrong. You already worked them out. You practice. You had them practice. Then you wait until Monday night to start activate the guy. I mean, I understand about being precautious and everything like that, but if you already worked him out, if you already see what he's about, and you know that your number one wide receiver has went down, yeah, let's kind of get this guy in. Let's go and see. Let's go see what we're working with already instead of waiting till Monday night. This is my opinion. And so, he was targeted. I think maybe last night he was targeted maybe two or 3 times, and he didn't really play a factor. So now, if he was to bring in another Odell, you bring in another guy that has a pretty strong resume, a name that kind of still ring bells, but he wouldn't be effective. He'd probably see the field maybe another, maybe 30, 40%. But then, like you said, he'd be on the sideline, expressing his distastement with the number of snaps, or the number of running plays. Yes, he may have went to uh, um, a Cleveland Browns, even though yes they had Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, but still they had a Baker Mayfield that was able to sling the ball around. So at least he was still to a degree satisfied. So like you said, man, we are run heavy first team. You know, I feel like he would just be brought in off the name and like, oh yeah, well we got him on the field for right now, and we're still running the ball. It's like, yo,
Yeah.
he's one of the he's one of the better athletes on the field, and we're not trying to feed him. Come on, man. Me as a wide receiver, I'd probably be pissed myself if I was like an Odell.
Yeah, and Greg Roman, the way that he goes purely based on matchup and system, and you know, there were drives last year where Hollywood wasn't seeing the field because it was Miles Boykin out there blocking. Greg Roman wants to go purely based on situation. He's going to be, we all love the signature Patrick Ricard route running, that we love to see
Yeah,
consistently for the Ravens. So it's like I would love Odell on the team. I don't think it would change, how multidimensional we are. I feel like the offense would be relatively similar. He'd be better than any of the he'd be better than Duvernay and Demarcus Robinson and Prochet, but we wouldn't really use him. So
right.
it's like, yeah, it'd be improvement, but like not the improvement the way that we want it. Because I feel like we can still have a passing offense with the Ravens receivers if we had a good passing game, but we don't. That's not the scheme. So the scheme, I don't know if the scheme allows for Odell to really thrive in the Ravens, but